Hello everyone, it's John back again with another in the Lightroom tutorial series, and this time I want to look at the graduated filter. So if we just simply click on this, and we've now got a way of adding a graduated filter to our photo. Now this works, or looks at least, in the same or works the same way as it would do putting a neutral density graduated filter on your camera, in that we can bring this filter in from different directions, or maybe we want to add more than one, and we can actually do this. Is something you can't do on your camera, which is to bring in lots of different graduated filters from different directions. So that's what it looks like. So how do we use this in practice? So I'm just going to go through. I've just deleted those. Now obviously I brought these in at odd angles, but if I wanted to bring in a filter from one of the edges and keep it parallel to that edge, if I hold down the shift key and then drag the mouse, we can bring in that filter, and it remains parallel to the edge that I'm dragging it in from, in this case the top edge. Now you notice in here that we have three lines. The outer two lines define the size of the transition from where the effect is fully applied to where it's not applied at all. And the center line is the midpoint of that transition. And you see we have this little circle with a black dot. This is called the pin, and we can use that to move our filter around. And then we've also got the option where we can actually rotate the filter as well. We have in the panel here a lot of controls. So normally with the graduated filter that you'd put on your camera, the only thing you can adjust on that is the exposure. Or with Lightroom we can actually do a lot more. We can adjust the color balance, we can adjust the exposure, we can do contrast, we can adjust highlights or shadows, we can do clarity, we can do saturation, we can do sharpness, we can do noise, we can affect any moire, if there's any moire effects in there. If somebody has a really jazzy shirt with lots of lower lines, you might get a moire pattern appearing in there. We can defringe, which is basically trying to correct chromatic aberration. So on this photo, what I want to do is I really want to darken the sky. That's too bright for me. What this is doing is this is using the same setting as when I last used my graduated filter. So I last had it set to +1. Or we can drag this down a little bit and get a little bit more drama in that sky. So I just brought it down just to a quarter of a stop less than the most of the photo here. But we can also do things like we can boost the contrast. Maybe I want to just touch, bring down the sharpness a little bit. Clouds aren't typically very sharp. And we could also bring down the saturation, which just has the effect of taking a little bit of the colour out of the cloud. I might want to just do a little tweak on the white balance, just to warm it up a little. Say somewhere there. This was a sunrise photo after all, and this is only going to affect the area up in this top half and not anything down here in the bottom half, because I pulled the filter in from the top. Had I pulled it in from the bottom, then it would have been adjusting the bottom. And that's really all I want to do on that particular filter. Now if I right click on this, I can actually duplicate it, and you can see it's had another effect on that, and it's darkened it again. It's not too bad, but I don't really want to do that. What I'd rather do is drag this down, because we've got some blue in here. In fact, I won't do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that filter, and we'll drag down the original one, and then we'll duplicate that again. Just made the sky a little bit grayer, which is suits it just a little bit more. Actually, let's bring this right the way down to there, and that's not too bad. So we click on done on that. So that's brought some detail back into the sky and just made it a little bit darker. Unfortunately, what it's also done is it's done stuff to the cliff, which has made that a little bit darker and a little bit duller, but we will adjust that in the next video when we look at the radial adjustment tool. So thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you next time.